Yo ho ho! What's going on, boys? This is Grim Reaper bringing you a One Punch Man chapter 146 review. The previous chapter was exceptional. In this chapter, Murata came with more fire than was expected, more fire than was even deserved. Like I said, there were some things that not only made a difference in regards to the current storyline, in regards to what's going to happen immediately, but that also retrospectively clean up other storylines or connect things that have happened in the past. So as we talk about that today, or before we begin talking about that today, make sure that you like the video, subscribe, and help us grow. We're only going to grow if you like the video and subscribe below, bro. We need your help. So without further ado, I've shared the link, so let's begin. So, Fubuki and Tatsumaki, we've just recently gotten past their big confrontation with each other, acknowledging the true breadth of the storyline, of their plots, of their development as characters. They're at two different ends of the spectrum, and we're now seeing how they're going to move forward after that confrontation. Fubuki is still somewhat bothered and really anxious to assist her sister because she sees the situation, the state that she's in, and she's still portraying that. But she's still retaining that self-confident and reliant demeanor and way of being and actions that she's been showing for quite a while now. She's always had the ability to be capable, but in this situation, it's I like seeing this from Fubuki. Now, we're in a different conversation now because of what happened in this chapter. Garou is here. I'm not expecting or pretending to have Fubuki be effective against Garou. I would actually feel that would be detrimental to the case scenario. This is not about Fubuki. It's not about her storyline. She has nothing to do with this. There are several characters here who may actually have nothing to do with this, including Atomic Samurai. Well, let me not say Atomic Samurai because he does have something to do with this. But I don't want anybody who isn't going to have exceptional impact to get involved. Coincidentally enough, if you've noticed, Murata and One have been bringing in a coalition of different characters that have met Garou throughout the storyline. Whether it's Garou's hero journey, whether it's coming from the beginning of Garou's hero hunting journey, or whether it's now in the final aspects of it. A lot of the characters who he's encountered and had long-lasting effect on are here right now, including Spring Mustachio, including Genos. So I kind of want those characters to be the one who, if they're going to be having any kind of conversation or dialogue or any kind of like whatever it may be with Garou, I want them to be the ones that have it, not other characters who are not affiliated with it. Who I don't want them to take up screen time to get impressive feats for their own. I don't want that. I don't want anybody else to get feats off of this if they're not already involved in a scenario. And I don't. It's as simple as that. It's not like that. Like I'm. 1 second. It's not like I dislike any of the characters. I just don't want. I don't want any of the stupidity to happen again. Like. 1 second. I just don't want that. I don't want other people to get stupid feats off of Garou to break the scaling, to discombobulate the scenario, it's just gonna ruin the greatness that we have right here. It's just one straight path. And there's a variety of crazy monsters here. Individuals who Garou would get feats by just encountering. Who would be beneficial for not only Garou to encounter them, but for them to encounter Garou. Beneficial towards us as readers. Growing our experience, growing our interpretation of the story, growing our scaling, enabling us to dive deeper into the story and compare and contrast different individuals and their different feats. But if we have a character who doesn't matter, like I'm not saying Fubuki doesn't matter. I'm saying if we have a character like Fubuki who's not involved in the scenario and she's taking up time, I don't want that. So that's why I'm saying this. That's why I'm making a big deal about this in the beginning of the video. There's a lot more good stuff we're going to talk about. Don't worry about it. But I have to make that clear that I have a strong feeling that we're going to be adding some unnecessary BS for emotional support or to make other characters that are not necessarily important whatsoever emotionally involved. And I don't want that. I don't care about Tatsumaki and Fubuki's relationship when it comes to Garou showing up. I don't want Fubuki to be, oh, good job, you tried. I don't want 3 or 4 or 5, 6 pages be taken up with that in a Garou fight just to show that Fubuki tried up against Garou. I don't want to curse, but I'm getting to that point where I don't want her to be involved in this fight. Just like I don't want Tank Top to be involved in this fight. I do not want anybody, maybe Tank Top, but he's already out of commission. No, Tank Top should not be in this fight. He should be out of here. Gone. Done. I don't want Driveman to be involved in this either. Nobody else. Just the people who have already encountered him in this hero hunt journey and the individuals who he can claim accolades from by encountering them. Those what they clap, dude. So now let's keep it pushing, bro. Let's keep it pushing, bro. Because we got more to cover, we got more to do. All right. So talking about the beginning of the chapter, right? We have Black Sperm going crazy, just tearing up everything everywhere. In the previous chapter, Atomic Samurai confronted him after a bunch of the heroes were having trouble dealing with the monster who Atomic Samurai should have been dealing with. And he says, "What are you, scattered like trash all over?" Again? It was a nice quote, but we actually see not even an exaggeration, and it wasn't even hyperbole. Like it's incredible what Black Sperm has done. Yes, Atomic Samurai's little variation of beating instead of delivering lethal hits to Black Sperm seems to be working. Not to great effect, it doesn't seem like. Regardless, I wasn't too impressed by I wasn't too impressed by that development as the manner in which to deal with almost to the Black Sperms. But boy, is this different. So what happened in the chapter, as you already know, is that Darkshine ended up being the pillar of the issue. His durability, his defensive capabilities are still unmatched. And I kind of have the feeling that this presentation wasn't necessarily to just show Black Sperm's inferiority physically in terms of attack power up against Darkshine. It was mentioned that by splitting to the extent, the absolute limit to which he could split to, which we didn't know that was possible, that he had a limit to split. It wasn't necessarily alluded to throughout the story that there was a limit to his splitting. It's still not enough to break through Darkshine's defense. The quote is read as this in the story. "Shit, if we keep attacking like this, he's just gonna steamroll us. Didn't want to do this, but there's no choice. Now we gotta split to our absolute limit." And then the next context is, this is addressing the other part of what I said. "Hold up, if we keep splitting, we could pound on this durable gorilla for ages and not make a dent in him. We gotta merge, and we gotta merge. Merge." That's the other part of information about the merging part. So, are we gonna get like a huge kaiju, like Outer Centipede type structure from Black Sperm? Because we've seen him merge before. We've seen when he was split into a multitude, and then he turned into that big multi-face monster that was holding up Atomic Samurai by his ponytail, and that was beating on him like that. So, it's plausible that we could get a huge, because we saw what the tsunami attack was.
I'm leaving. I need you to move your car, please.
1 second. My fault, bro. Niggas are fucking tripping today. Like, fuck. Niggas are fucking tripping today. Being fucking annoying as shit. Alright. Damn, that was fucking annoying. Alright. That's what we were talking about before. So we're getting some new details and some new discoveries about Black Sperm's capabilities. Not only the ability, not only the limit to his splitting, which kind of gives even more context to Homeless Emperor. We don't know the limit, or if Homeless Emperor actually has unlimited power. If it's whenever he makes his orbs, if they're actually like excuse me. If they're actually not drenched, or excuse me, not using, coming from a source of energy. So this may allude to that also being the case for Homeless Emperor. If Black Sperm has a limit to how much he can split, maybe Homeless Emperor isn't really using or gathering his power from an unlimited source of energy. Maybe that isn't necessarily the case. Maybe Black Sperm is having some perception issues. But so now with the context of him having the limit of splitting, possibly being able to merge into a huge giant kaiju like he did before when he was holding up Black Sperm, or excuse me, holding up Atomic Samurai by his ponytail, but to a much bigger, stronger degree. From the context of what it was saying here, if we keep splitting, and we could pound this durable gorilla for ages and not make a dent in him, it's kind of like a bunch of raindrops. I said it before. Like if you put a tank in the middle of the road and you rain on it for like 10 days, the rain isn't gonna like pierce through the armor somehow. It's not gonna do that. But if you take that 10 days worth of water and put it into a certain size container, and you put the tank at the bottom of that container, all that water may start to crush or do something to that tank. Depending on the situation, the scenario, you could find a way to do that. So this seems like, I know that's kind of a convoluted, not an exact one-to-one example, but that's kind of what I'm getting from the dialogue here, that he's going to merge to be one big mass, just like he did to Atomic Samurai. Like, hit his ass in the redraw, or before the redraw, when Atomic Samurai came up from the hole after he did hit him with the Focus Atomic Slash, he hit him hard with that. So we'll see the potential of like Black Sperm's large size, because this is his alternative. And we already got to see later, in a few more pages, the breadth, the size, the expanse, the grandiose, the I don't know what other words to use, but like we saw the sperm tsunami, like it was right there, like we saw it, bro. Like I think I spent like 2-3 minutes just. I was not expecting anything like that, bro. Anything like that, bro. Like, the nigga said, oh, we're going to split as much as possible to the limit. And then the whole tsunami dropped. Like, Black Sperm is definitely incredible. And I was not expecting a feat like that. It's... I wasn't even expecting there to be the city would be that close, or civilized parts would be that close to where they were fighting at. This does confirm, by the way, like all the illusions and all the pretending that we want to do, or all the excluding and censoring that the anime is going to do, that hundreds of thousands, if not thousands, of people have died in this fight. Innocent civilians, innocent non-combatants have died. This is proof right here. You not only see little dots of individuals and people in the road where crash cars and smoke is coming up from buildings, but the other side of the buildings are being collapsed as the sperm tsunami is coming toward there, which we didn't even know was next to them in the fight. And we've already seen the same battlefield, the same arena that they're in, be squashed up, twisted, flipped up, and turned all kinds of ways. We've already seen buildings and signs of abandoned and non-abandoned civilization buildings, which we know Z City consists of, within the destruction radius. So once again, this confirms that there are plenty of innocent people dying as a result of the fight and these monsters and these heroes. But that's just that context. Pretty much we got that down. Black Sperm is incredible, man. Like, not only is Black Sperm like have these two new details about him, but now let's get down to the real nitty gritty here. How many S-Class is Black Sperm fighting? Darkshine, Atomic Samurai, Bang, Tatsumaki, Genos. This isn't the same four that fought Melzigard. Two of them. It still gives Melzigard great feats and great accolades for being able to fight for S class. But two of those S class were top 5. Here, all of the S class are top tier. One of which just finished fighting an Earth Cutter. The other one is the number 2 ranked hero. Another one, literally the current monster, saying that he can't pierce through his skin. He can't pierce through his armor. And we have Bang and Atomic Samurai. How many more? Who else? Who else do you need to deal with Black Sperm? Because they're not having any success. They're not gaining success. Don't get me wrong. This is definitely a bout right now. Black Sperm is having trouble figuring out how to get past, how to deal with Darkshine. He's a problem. But he's not saying too much about the other guys. Sure, he's saying Atomic Samurai is annoying or whatever, but we haven't heard I just can't pierce through this guy's skin, so I gotta merge up. And Atomic Samurai sitting here talking about something like, I'm gonna take the thread on by myself. These 2 chapters, I feel like, will need better dialogue for Atomic Samurai. Because this is 2 times now where he's made the assertion that he's going to take on the issue. He's going to handle Black Sperm. But I don't know if you've noticed or not, he's not handling Black Sperm. As he was telling Bang that he's got this in a previous chapter, Black Sperms was still attacking Genos and Bang at the same and Bang as they were running to try to defend themselves and get Tank Top and Tatsumaki out of there when they were knocked out. Like, that was still happening. Tatsumaki woke up and is also fighting the Black Sperms, and it's not adding at all. Literally not adding any help at all. One single sperm she couldn't even handle. It got away from her. Now in this chapter, probably she's been doing more damage or actually killing some of the other sperms. But as we know, that's not the way to do it. And I haven't even addressed the other individuals who are not S class but have F class capabilities, as was mentioned by by Nichidian of Spring Mustachio, another individual who has not only the prospects but potentially great evidence for, strong context supporting the fact that he has S class skill. I talk about this all the time for Ian Ian, the fact that he's doing all these feats that lower S class would be dealing with. Even for the lower S class, they wouldn't be able to do some of these things. And he's not even doing it by himself. He has 2 other individuals behind him that he has to lead. And sure, it's more of a team aspect. The trio is definitely stronger than Ian Ian individually, but Ian Ian is clearly the leader. We're now starting to see the growth or the onset of multiple individuals of the next generation. When I say next generation, I don't mean individuals who are necessarily going to replace their current S class. I'm saying individuals who are showing potential to be candidates for the next S class. So it would be a great storyline to see literally 10, 12, maybe even 16 people who could be up next, or could be candidates. I think right now, at least in the current battlefield, Spring Mustachio, Fubuki, and Genos make up this trio. These are the 3 individuals who could really try out to be the bottom of the S class if a My Mask were to consider it. And along the lines of us checking out their feats and comparing them to all the different demons that we fought, and comparing them to the different feats the S class themselves have had. I think those 3 candidates, at least in the battlefield, are suitable. And not to mention that we have Suryu in the hospital coming out as well. So that's a 4th individual. Maybe there are others that I'm not thinking of that have also shown great capacity. I don't think Glasses is there yet, but it's interesting to see that. And I don't have to connect this to Black Sperm. There's another thing that I have to connect with Spring Mustachio and Black Sperm. But I'm saying it's interesting to see that these 3 individuals who we've been getting accolades for this entire time, who've been building their strength and storylines, are now here confronting the biggest of scenarios. It's almost as if, like, when you're, I don't know if you guys have played sports in high school or wherever it is, but when you're a freshman and you're there, you happen to get to play with the varsity class or the seniors and the juniors in the school or in the sporting team, the first team, you gain experiences with them. It's like you're in the trenches, the hardest things they have to deal with as like the leaders of the school, the last grade they're going to be there, the best the school can have, and you're there dealing with it with them. It just builds a stronger bond and a bigger bond, and that same bond that you build also is used as reputation, as like how do I put this? It builds experience, but it allows others to look at that and depend upon you. Like, oh, I know I can depend upon this guy because back then when this thing happened, he was there dealing with it with these boys. And that may be the reason why, at least, Fubuki, Spring Mustachio, and Neon would be referred to or thought about in regards to coming to the S class over any other candidates. I'm not saying that they're stronger than Suiryu. I do definitely believe that Suiryu could put up a threat up against all three of them and probably win. But they're getting there. They're getting there. Them being present here, them encountering all these monsters, Fubuki standing up being like, hey, I can help too up against Garou, Spring Mustachio coming in and fighting up against Black Sperm, Mian dealing with even natural water by himself until he got to the surface. Like, all those things are great accolades that you can mention as to why these three non-S class fighters, these three A class fighters have potential and capabilities and have shown merit to be in the S class or be candidates for the S class. And we all know what Suiryu did. Spring Mustachio, though, going back to hyping up Black Sperm, Spring Mustachio is S-Class candidate. I'm saying it there. Yan, S-Class candidate. Saying it there. Then we have the Sword Saints. Sword Saints show up and put in work. We're going to talk about them as the next topic in the next second. But I just want to say, Black Sperm's taking on the Sword Saints as well. Two of the other ones who we haven't gotten more specifications or more detail for. Looks like they're just going to be side pieces to Nichirin. Nichirin himself, and Spring Mustachio. 4 new assets. And even Black Sperm is seen in the story talking shit about him, like, oh, here's some more trash to beat on, huh? But he's just great. A bunch more weirdos showed up. But it turns out that these guys are pretty effective. All of them are pretty effective. So I am excited to see what more Black Sperm can do, because there's a whole army out here. Like, there's a whole army of sperm out here. And all the S-Class are fighting. All of them. And I do have some more questions, like, so let's say he splits to his limit, right? Where he's literally split to his limit. Does that mean that if you pop one of those sperms, they won't come back? Like the sperms that they're popping right now, will they not split and come back? Isn't this itself a way to kill Black Sperm? Like, forcing him to split to his absolute limit, then when you pop those, then it's gone because it can't split again. Was it like a year and a half? Like, you figured out how to kill Black Sperm. But it doesn't seem like that's the way that the storyline's going towards. Because Atomic Samurai never necessarily got Black Sperm to the point to which he would be close to his limit, as we've just seen with this sperm tsunami. But at the same time, there was nothing alluding to the fact that, like, he had a limit in general. So, yeah, there really wasn't a method to come up with that way of killing Black Sperm without gathering that information first. I guess the next poll question is going to have to be, is Black Sperm the strongest dragon outside of Orochi? What is Rover going to do to him? What is EC going to do to him? Like, but let's keep pushing. Let's keep pushing. Because besides Black Sperm's greatness, in this chapter we also got the introduction to the Sword Saints. Now previously, not only in discussions in Discord, I believe in the tournaments of powers that we've done, the tier lists that we've done, whenever we've argued about the Sword Saints, I've referred to Nichirin as being around S-Class or Bang's level, because of the reference in the comments that were made at the time period. Whenever Atomic Samurai, whenever we were first introduced to the Sword Saints in chapter 69, I believe, when Atomic Samurai went with them and then they all were drinking tea or whatever, Nichirin questioned Atomic Samurai as to what were the strength of the S-Class in regards to him. Is he stronger than them, weaker than them? How much stronger? And then Atomic Samurai estimated that Bang is an individual who might be stronger than you, letting us know that of the high caliber that Atomic Samurai and the high esteem that Atomic Samurai holds Nichirin. And in this chapter, it definitely came out to bear, like, exactly as he said. This feat not only reminded me of that Nichirin had, reminded me of the punch that Bang did to the ground. That no, that was that Garou? I think that was Garou, actually. I'm not sure who did that, but just in general, I definitely think that Nichirin isn't necessarily as strong as Bang, but he's definitely within the range of strong S-Class. Him with this little single dance slice that he did, and then cutting an entire brick, like, portion of the ground mountain that they were in, like rubble collection, splitting it in half like that, having that collection of sperm drop in there like that, like, Amazing job. Amazing job. Amazing job. I'm excited, and then we saw him previously as well too, with like the method in which he cut Black Sperm. He left them in ribbons as well. Maybe not as numerous as Atomic Samurai slashes, but definitely with numerous slashes. So the Sword Saints, at least in Nichiden's regard, are powerful in their S class, and I wouldn't be surprised if the other two are also just as capable as Nichiden, maybe a little bit less. Spring Mustachio is the student of Nichiden. Now, it was mentioned that the reason why Spring Mustachio is content with being in the lower ranks of A class is because his special attacks are too powerful to be used horizontally, and they will destroy buildings and endanger innocent people. I guess that restricts him to a lower degree, so he can't use his powers. I guess so, and I guess that also gives context to the tomboy that we saw in the beginning of the series too. I guess that's a reason. That would be a reason to be like, oh yeah, I don't deserve that rank because I can't use this. So the skills that he does use put him at a much lower level. Sure, that's a reasonable explanation, and I could accept that. And even as an evaluator, if I also be evaluating the individuals who I wanted to be in the S class, this is a my mask. That would also be a condition I would consider. Like your strongest attack, you can't use it without endangering everybody else. That means that normally you'll only be able to fight at this level without endangering everybody else. So that is a reasonable explanation. But it was surprising to see Spring Mustachio come in like that. I'm expecting more. I wish we could see him in a more individual instance, not to where he's doing a group attack or a mass attack, but to where like he's gonna be in combat and we get to see different instances and stances where he has to block attacks and deal damage. Maybe in a different arc we'll get that to where he gets a spotlight and such. For now, I'm kind of getting the feeling that the Sword Saints are going to be here to be fodder. Fodder for who? I'm not sure. But it's going to be impressive fodder. And that's all that matters. That's really all that matters. And it's impressive fodder. If the fodder's S-class fodder, that's great. That's fine. That's what we just got for Tank Top Master. Tank Top Master didn't really make a difference here. He was support on the Assault on Sairochi, on Jetrochi. And he at least drew some attention when in regards to resisting up against Gum's tremendous draw strength. That was impressive. I'll give him that. I definitely look towards Tank Top for that. But in this recent chapter when Tank Top got healed, I was definitely down by that. I was kind of hoping that he would be gone as a character, but him being around maintains the Tank Top meme, which is hilarious and a great staple in the One Punch Man community. So I have no bar with him staying in the story, but we need more from the character. And if he's just going to be used as S-class fodder all the time, then I'm not sure how much value I actually have in the character. But we'll see how that turns out. Putting a cap on the Sword Saints though, let's see what Nichiden can do. Because I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I think he just has to be useful fodder, competent fodder. That's really the best instance for it. The next vital point in the chapter that is interesting enough to almost paint the end of the scenario. Like it's almost, you can intuit so much from that you almost get to the end. Now we've obviously known what's been going on here with the storyline that One and Without have been pushing or implementing into the story so far about teamwork and how teamwork is the key as to why, or the lack of teamwork has been the key as to why things have been going so horribly for a lot of the heroes. Well, now we're in an instance where they not only verbally acknowledge that they need to improve their teamwork, but they've also somewhat been doing it to a certain degree. Definitely the combo team attack that they did against Jetrochi was definitely an example of them improving their teamwork capabilities and their instances of teamwork. But we've also seen instances of individuals. Forget that. The other side of the coin is not working together. The exact opposite. Survival of the fittest. These two ideologies and ideals portrayed or explained to us and positioned in the story at the same exact time and to be exact opposites. Now, this is clearly going to be the case, not only because we know that the heroes are most likely going to win because it's a seinen manga with a progressive story, so we know what the result might be. We just don't know how many heroes are going to lose, where the improvement's going to be, what are the detriment's going to be, who's going to die, or things like that. We just don't know what that's going to be. We pretty much can tell that we're going to be successful somewhat. The problem is how and when. And don't get me wrong, we've had plenty of failures. Garou was the main story, was the leader, basically the main character in the story, and he lost before. Literally lost to Watchdog Man and almost got killed by Metalbat. Same thing for Metalbat. Metalbat got his ass beat the entire fight and didn't come out on top. So there's been plenty of times where there's been big plots, big arcs that don't end favorably for us. I'm just saying that this one right here, in my personal opinion, I'm guessing it's going to be that way. They're going to improve upon their teamwork. I can't see a scenario where the heroes win because Tatsumaki just somehow got his strength back and took out all the cadres. No, that's not going to happen. It's going to be all the rest of the heroes pooling their powers together and dealing with the different cadres that go up in front of them as best they can. Survival of the fittest is the exact opposite of this. And this is not only the ideology that Homeless Emperor wanted to implement in the beginning at first, but one that he's now pushing deeply. Now, the other monsters, the other cadres, they were okay with this. Black Sperm Smirkton was alright with it. Fear Ugly said that he wants to be the leader of the Monster Association. Even after Water hasn't really made a big stink about it, he's not talking at all. And Gums hasn't really spoken in the league, but they're not really working together. Gums is like the second biggest example of this, where he literally attacks, goes ahead and tries to eat completely and swallow Fear Ugly when he got punched by him accidentally. Yeah, it was a devastating hit. Yeah, it was traumatic, bro. I think it was a dignity cable punch or something catastrophic that Gums ended up tanking. I think he popped open or something happened to him because of that. And then he decided to take revenge on Fear Ugly, completely to the detriment of their effort together up against the heroes. Now vomited Fear Ugly rips apart Gums, so now he's the one that's out there, all injured up and hurt, and now Gums is out of commission. And if Gums comes back into commission, he might even come back and try to get him again. So that's the first example of the survival of the fittest not working out. And this is the second example here. Black Sperm asked for help with Homeless Emperor. There's no way where this is bad. It's not like a Mai where he was crying for help against a one-on-one. He's facing the entire S-Class. The entire upper echelon of the S-Class, including Tatsumaki. The only ones that are missing are Bullfoy and Drive Knight and Flashy Flash, maybe 2 or 3 others. The entire upper echelon of the S-Class is here fighting Black Sperm. Not fighting Homeless Emperor, not fighting Gums, not fighting Fear Ugly, fighting Black Sperm. So it's not a detriment that he asked for help. Homeless says, hey, fuck you, bruh. Like, nah, bitch. Help. Homeless ain't with it, bruh. He's not doing it. He's not doing it. And we see here, hey, this is your chance to get a bunch of kills, to get ahead of us, to get a head start, you know. And all along, the same scheme that Black Sperm was thinking of himself, hey, once things go to shit, I'll get him from behind and it's over. Homeless Emperor's thinking the exact same thing. Hey, once things go to shit, I'll get you from behind and it's over. So, I really can't imagine a scenario where we're down to a Atomic Samurai on his last breath, all the other heroes are dead or are dying already, and then as Black Sperm's about to try to kill Atomic Samurai or whatever, then Homeless comes out and just pops him. I don't see it. Same thing, vice versa. Homeless is about to kill a Dark China or whatever, and then vice versa. Black Sperm comes out of nowhere and then kills him. They're going to have to work together. In this story, and this is why I still, I don't listen or give credit to almost anything Garou and Psycho says until I see it. Because these rankings were... Sure, the matches were fine and they worked, but... So here's the next point where she has to prove herself and prove herself to be accurate. Psychos tells us, when Black Sperm and Homeless Emperor are fighting together, nobody can stop them. And this was in regards... After Orochi. After Orochi's defeat, she mentions this as the next big stance. And they refuse to work together. So, we're at a standstill here, bro. We're going to have to get an orb, tsunami, barrage, or some type of tandem like this. We're going to have to get it. Because if not, like, we haven't seen Homeless Emperor's orbs against Black Sperm or Darkshine. Hasn't happened. You can say, oh, they're not strong enough, or they're not this and that. We haven't seen it yet. You have not seen it yet. Haven't. Have not. I'm not under the impression that Rover couldn't harm Darkshine. I'm not under that impression. I'm not under that impression at all. So let's say that Homeless Emperor, to an umpteenth degree, an extent, pushing it to the limit like Black Sperm doing this chapter. Why couldn't he hurt Darkshine? Them working together is going to be... It has to happen because it was mentioned in the story. And maybe this is their way of, like, delaying that shit. But, like... The highlight of the review. The most important part of this discussion. The reason why you're going to tune into the One Punch Man podcast in a few days. Garou. My boy. He's back, bitch. Nah, you're not gonna kiss me, bro. Nah. My boy. He's back, bruh. I was speechless. I had zero reasons to believe he would come back this chapter, but hold on, let me make sure the stream's running too, bro. What if this is... alright, yeah. The stream's running fine, alright, alright. Like, it was out of nowhere, bro. The rubble just shoots up, and then just Garou sitting there behind a bomb in Fubuki, like... Like, wow. A whole new super big strong cock diesel chiseled up looking like a just like Garou. Bruh, like man. He's back, man. It's always a joy to see Garou in the story because it means hype. It means fire. It means that we're going to get intensity. It means that we're not going to be lollygagging around, dealing with feelings, playing with people's emotions. No, we're going to get down to the business. If Garou's here, it's time to go to work, bro. And I'm not just talking about fighting. I'm talking about moving the storyline, moving the plot forward in general. Whenever we see Garou's a demeanor, the way that he's thinking about things, the problems that he has to go through, his relationship with Tardeo, all these things are strong emotional triggers. They're stimuli for the greatness of Garou. And I love seeing that. And now we're back here in another scenario. This is it. Like going to find Tank Top. This is it. Like going to a villain meeting started by the Hero Association to get their attention. The upper echelon of the S-Class is here. You have a multitude of individuals who could kill half the niggas in this series. Half the niggas in this series, if not all the niggas in this series, could be killed by individuals on the surface right now, whether they're tired or not, whether they're exhausted or not, and they're all grouped here together. Gogetsu was warned that if multiples of the individuals on the surface right now were to show up to fight him, you're in danger. Gogetsu was told that. 3 of the individuals here right now threatened the EC to an extent farther than Blasted. Sure, he ran away from Blast. We didn't see the context of that fight. Maybe that's an incorrect statement to say. Genos, Bang, and Bomb, 3 individuals on the surface right now who are capable of fighting, did that thing or fought up against Elder Centipede. And he did that thing back, but they fought him. The amount of stimuli that's here on the surface for Garou excellence is incredible. Like, there's nothing can go wrong here, bruh. Nothing can go wrong here, bruh. You're either gonna fight Bomb full power, like, but like, I was hype as hell in the reaction when I saw Garou When I saw Bomb, bruh, yo, when I went to sleep, bro, I was just thinking, yo, Garou want to fight, Garou want to fight. Yo, he want to fight Bomb, man. The nigga want to fight Bomb. The nigga that they say stronger than Bang. Bro, this nigga's like, not on no bullshit, bro. The water stream is strong. The water stream is nice. It's badass. It is not the whirlwind, bro. This nigga's catching shit like, bro, this nigga just caught Super Mouse's fist and cut the nigga shit up, bro. By catching that nigga shit, bro. We're sitting out there breaking through rubber to get away from Rover, bro. Yo, Garou was out there with the whirlwind. The whirlwind is a force. And you about to face the monster of the whirlwind? Excuse me, the master of the whirlwind? Bro! Bro! Please! Murata, one! Please! Just give me one chapter. Nobody else, man. Garou versus Bomb. Nobody else, man. Let me get that shit, though, bro. Oh, God, bro. Hold up. Bro, on God, bro. I really feel like Bomb is about to do everything he can right now, man. Like, if there's any time ever for Bomb to do that thing, it's right here, now. Right now. Right here. Here and now, man. There's not ever been another time for Bomb to let loose and show why he's stronger than Bang. Show why he's the older brother. Show why he's a master. Show the truth of the whirlwind. Like, there's never been another time to do that shit. It's right now, man. Like, bro. I mess with Bang heavy, but I like Bomb better. And Bomb looks like he's ready to do that thing to Garou. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. This is the Garou show. This is the Garou show. But do you want to see Tom Brady play up against the Pee Wee League? Or do you want to see Tom Brady play up against the all-time greats? Which is more entertaining? In the previous fight where Garou fought, he mentioned, or it was mentioned to him, that Darkshine encountered Bang and pestered Bang, and he could not deal damage to Bang. All his attacks were deflected, but he himself did not deal damage or did not have damage dealt to him. We get some context to the fight that's there. Bang is still a great fighter and can't necessarily be manhandled by Darkshine, but Darkshine is still almost indomitable. Garou managed to almost dominate the Indomitable. What's there to say about Bomb? Bro, Bomb about to do that thing, bro. Bomb about to do that, bro. I'm ready for it, bro. You have no idea. I'm ready for it, bro. Bomb about to cut shit out, bitch. Bro, I'm like, bro, I'm ready for this, bro. I am ready for this, bro. Like, but just thinking about it, bro, the nigga's just like, bro, the way he called for Bang to like, yo, it's Bang's Garou, bro, he here, bitch. I'm about to get him first. I'm about to get him. Yo, Bang seems ready, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. Bang seems ready, bro. That pose, bro. Then he tells Fubuki, hey, you better get out of here. The way he's looking at Garou, like, hey, bro, like, I know my brother trying to like save your life, but on the real, I'll kill your ass right now, bro. Yo, Bomb about to get in there, bro. But yo, this nigga Garou. This nigga Garou, bro. Garou looks like that motherfucking thing, bro. This nigga look like a fucking demon, man. Yo. This nigga about to do that thing to everybody, bro. Everybody wanna get clapped, bro. Yo, but look. I've addressed the potentials of Bomb versus Garou. I've addressed, like, in the previous, in the live reaction, you saw my bro, I busted for Garou, man. That nigga look cute, man. Like, fuck, right? Ooh, Garou, man. That's right. But we have to address the building storyline. I think this is the last point. But, as was mentioned in the beginning, chapter 69, in the conversation that Tamaki Samurai went to go have with the Sword Saints. He was actually there to attempt to solicit the assistance of the Sword Saints in regards to the Hero Hunter. The Hero Hunter's been causing tremendous issues for the Hero Association, and it's their job to get him. He was under the impression, or the assumption, the correct assumption, that because Garou is Bang's student, that there would be some dilemma in him dealing with that. Now, Atomic Samurai took the opposite approach. Because he knew that that's true, he decided to dispatch of Garou on his own. But then, after a long consideration, and after seeing that what Child Emperor and those guys thought about Bang because of the scenario, he's now resolved to understand that, hey, you want to do this. I'm not going to disrespect you. This is your student. This is a scenario. If it were me and somebody tried to stop me, I also would not forgive them. So I get that context. I get the resolve that Atomic Samurai has had, and we've already talked about this before. We've already known what the truth was about Bang and how he's willing to go to anything and stop anybody, including heroes, from killing Garou just to get Garou himself. So I thought it was appropriate for Atomic Samurai to also defer the dealing with Garou to Bang. That was appropriate. I was wondering what was going to happen whenever Garou shows up. Who's going to be trying to fight him? Who's going to be doing what? Are monsters going to attack him? Is he going to attack monsters? Are the heroes going to attack him? Is he just going to attack the heroes? And now we have this. Now we have the instance here. Now we see the scenario. And now we see that the heroes have indeed deferred to having Bang deal with it. Bomb was the first one to say it. And then Atomic Samurai is like, really like the most, I don't want to say the leader, the one in charge, but like Child Emperor's no one around. So like, it was suitable to have Atomic Samurai defer the attack of Garou to Bang. Let's say that he didn't have his hands full with Black Sperm, but we know, you guys know what I'm saying. Atomic Samurai says this quote here, and I guess this is the question to make probably the best poll question here. He says, "Go and right your wrongs as a master." Now, to a degree, I have to explain the entire scenario because people are gonna leave the context out, and it's the internet. I know how it works. Garou made the choice to do what he's been doing. You are not absolved of responsibility. These are Garou's actions and his alone. Bang didn't teach him these things. Bang didn't inspire these things or encourage him to do these things. This is Garou's own endeavor. We've seen flashbacks countless times of why it is. Tadia Kachan, I think it is, or all the hero scenarios that we know about. Him wanting to be the champion for the villains. None of that has anything to do with Bang's teachings. None of that. As a teacher, as a master, you're responsible for your students. Whether their actions are their own or not, you're still responsible for those things. Whatever their actions are, whatever they do, it's reflected upon you. It's why whenever your parents go out or whatever, they tell you to, hey, behave. Because your actions, your demeanor, your behavior is a reflection upon them. Their teachings, their capabilities, their competency in parenthood. The same exact aspect is true for a sensei or a master of a dojo or in martial arts. Not only is your actual skill a direct reflection and representation of the teacher's style and teaching ability, but in this aspect, Bang is very attached to Garou. So it's almost the parallel of the exactitude of the teacher master scenario, and you have strong aspects of the parent scenario. They're both intertwined here. Is Bang responsible for Garou? I say yes. Clearly. You made this. It's wreaking havoc. Stop it. You're going to feel guilty. Play sports all the time. You're playing soccer. You get a pass. You lose the ball. You feel responsible. You don't want to let the whole team know, oh, I don't want to seem like I suck. You go run hard, get the ball back. Same thing football. You get the ball, running it, you fumble. Oh, I don't want to seem like I can't be dependable. Try hard to get the ball back, same player. Tackle the person who recovered the ball. Keep it going. Garou is bad. Stop him, Bang. Because if not, there's a bald fuck who's going to kill him. Can't have that. Stay tuned for the One Punch Man podcast. It's coming up in a few days. Everybody will be there. We'll compare and contrast our ideas and our conversation topics about this chapter. Yo!